Well, welcome everyone. We like to have you just wait a couple more minutes for some people that are stragglers. Hello, Michael. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm very good. I had to think about this because you're in the afternoon. My day is only just starting. I'm really good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really well. I'm in our most eastern state, which is New Zealand. I'm very sorry for our New Zealand customers. We only joke. We're very good friends. No, I'm in Auckland at the moment, and I've had the fun of teaching a basic course in Auckland that's been going really well. So plenty of KNX happening in New Zealand.
Very good. Very nice. Like to hear that. And I see a lot of people online. This makes me happy too.
Yeah, there's a really good turn up today. So we appreciate everyone spending the time, and we hope you get a little bit out of today. We'll make an official start in a couple more minutes. Just let those stragglers join and maybe internet problems or what have you. So, yeah. And we've got Ed as well and Andy in the background ready to help us. So we've got a few things happening today. It's quite a technical briefing. We're going to have some PowerPoint presentations and a little bit of live stuff, but we've also got a surprise for everyone that's joined. Some pretty good deals. And someone's going to be a winner as well.
Everyone's a winner.
That's the dulcet tones of Mr. Andy Moore.
Nice to see you, Simon. I'm glad you survived the trip across the ditch. When are you coming home?
I just booked my Uber for 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you for staying up for us over here in Australia, 2 hours ahead, or behind, rather.
Behind. Yeah.
Yes, everyone is a winner today. I'm very excited to see who wins that big ETS app pack.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. It's riveting.
But everyone also gets the what's the app that everyone gets for attending?
That's a surprise, but if you make it to the end, Andy, there'll be a QR code that will lead you to glory. It's like a little gold pot at the end of the rainbow, but you have to travel. You can't just get it at the start. You have to stay for the whole webinar.
Lovely. Well, I will do so.
Get your smartphone or smart devices ready because there will be a QR code. Okay, I think we will make a start. All right, everyone. We'd like to welcome everyone to the Australian National Group. And what we're doing today, we've got a roadshow for 2026, and we're discussing ETS4 and the latest feature sets and functions of ETS4. And today, just 6.4 for you guys. What? 6.4.
ETS 6.4.
Yeah,
we are long way since 4.
Yes. I remember ETS3, so that's how old I am. So I've got joining me today a guy that's had a lot to do with the development of it, and it's Mr. Michael Critchfield. So welcome, Michael. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Simon. I'm really happy to be here. Good afternoon. Good evening, maybe, to New Zealand.
Yeah, it's good evening. It's good evening. So, Michael, do you want to just start by letting the people know exactly how you're involved with KNX and what you do?
Yes, of course. I've been working with KNX since October 2021, so approaching 5 years. And since then, I've been busy making ETS6 the best ETS we can have. ETS6 was released just before that. So we've had many versions, many releases, many updates coming out for free to every ETS6 licensee. And I think, especially with 6.4, everybody can agree we are really making good progress. ETS 6.4 is shipping some exciting things that we can go through today. And my role at the association is officially called product manager. So I'm in contact with many of our customers, many of our members or manufacturers in making ETS ideal for everybody.
Okay. Thank you, that's Michael. Just for all those people that don't know me, my name is Simon Harvey, and I'm the Vice President of the National Group of Australia for KNX National Group of Australia. I'm also lucky enough to be the ETS Ambassador, which is a prestigious position, but it also comes with a lot of pressure, so you've got to know everything. So just like you guys, today we're going to use this as a bit of a back and forth, and it kind of works well, and we're going to generate some questions. And we're going to find out what really the ins and outs of what we have with ETS4. Now, Michael, there's lots and lots of new features and functions. I'm sure we haven't got quite the time to go through it deeply, but we do have the time to run over the top and see exactly some high growth features of what ETS4 6.4 bringing. Sorry, I've got a Freudian slip there.
It's okay, it's late. And you have a slide deck, right?
Yeah. So what we might do, we're going to move through a slide, and Michael's going to join in and help us, and we're going to talk together through the slide. So just hold tight for a sec while I just change my screen, and let me know if you can see.
Yeah, I think it's coming up. I think with ETS 6.4, as you will see in the slides, is you have to know. I think that's the crucial part. You still have to be a KNX expert, right? And you still have to know what you're doing. And it's these kinds of events like the Roadshow today, where you learn the ins and outs, like you said, to really make the best use of these new features. You have to understand how they work and how they can benefit your workflows.
Okay, I'm going to move through this a little bit quicker, Michael, and you can jump in and help us with parts of it. We're going to have a look at benefits from the latest system extensions. So that's really important. Oh, sorry, I'll go back just one step. And then we're going to have a look at some changes in ETS6. We're going to talk about some cybersecurity. That's really important, Michael. Hey, I think that's a really important slide. And then we're just going to finish with takeaways. So moving right on, the first slide is benefits from the latest system extension. So tell us, what's happened with segment couplers?
Well, okay. I think this picture shows it very nicely how exceptionally far the KNX topology, the KNX network has grown over the years. We've had the twisted pair cable for such a long time. We had power line, we had radio frequency. And radio frequency has grown into the new RF multi, which is, of course, mainly Europe. And now we have KNX IoT, which is IPv6. But we're looking at the twisted pair. There was a new device type called the segment couplers. And what that allows you to do, you see that at the bottom right of your, let's say, of the house, of the schematic, with a segment coupler, you can just extend an existing TP line. You can compare it to a repeater that you maybe know. You might be familiar with a repeater. The segment coupler can do the same thing. However, there's one difference. The segment coupler includes a filter table. So other than a repeater, the filter table or the segment coupler doesn't just let everything go through. So you can configure, or let's say ETS configures that for you. And you have the benefits of improved bus loads.
Okay, and I think further on the slides, Michael, it lends itself a lot to upgrading our security.
Yes, indeed. Because the segment couplers that we see in the market, most of them, they are also including a little feature called security proxy. And that's also shown here in the bottom right, because the segment coupler here includes the so-called security proxy, meaning it can, with the same group addresses, it can connect plain and secure devices. So that's very powerful because you can make secure extensions to your existing projects.
Yeah, I think that's a really good word that you just used there, a phrase. You can add existing security to your existing projects. That's really important, right? So that we can put a segment coupler in that it's a proxy. and it can act on behalf of other devices and protect whole parts of the line.
Exactly. Think of a nice new patio with those nice deck chairs, and you have a push button, and you can control your blinds.
Yeah. So the
there
next slide. There it is here. Yeah. So this is a revolutionary thing where we don't need, if we have an existing job where we don't have secure devices, and we need to secure, especially things like backbones, Michael, or main lines that are running in a building that maybe lend themselves to maybe interruption or maybe hacking or something like that. We can actually put a security proxy on, and it can act for the whole line, right?
Exactly. And it's hacking, and let's say call it vandalism, right? That is what we want to prevent, right? What you want to prevent also in your building.
So moving on to the RF multi-devices now, Michael, in Australia and New Zealand, we're a little bit behind with the RF multi-devices. And I think that's all about to change, or it has changed with the standard allowing for 2.4 and 915. Is that correct?
Indeed. That's correct. These RF multi-devices, or let's say the KNX radio frequency standard, this is of course mainly European. It has never been certified, never been standardized for outside of Europe. But indeed, the Australasia region, or KNX Australia, let's say, you can benefit now from KNX IoT, which is 2.4, either Wi-Fi or Thread. So that's where we see the first devices coming out. And you have these wireless benefits. Yeah. I think it's on the next slide.
Yeah, that's what I was just, yeah. So this is using secure devices combined with different medias. And talk to me about the remote access, secure remote access.
Yeah. As you mentioned already, it's also coming at the end of the presentation, this ominous topic of the port 3671, this remote access, the port that has been opened in so many installations. It's really, let's say, nowadays, it's a security nightmare. And with something called the secure remote access, you can have gateways in your installations that allow you a secure, let's say, VPN or a tunneling connection without having to open ports. And there's KNX devices available for that. So you just plug them into your installation, add them to your ETS project, and then your installation is available online, but in a secure fashion. And with ETS4, it's a seamless integration. So your ETS project contains all the info how to connect.
Okay. So something else that's really exciting, and I know the association's been working on, is KNX IoT. Can you give us the latest update with regards to that?
Yes, absolutely. And I think KNX IoT is a fancy word for wireless KNX devices, end-to-end communication, so sensor actuator communication. Something that you would until now maybe do with Twisted Pair. You will be in a few months be able to do that with IPv6, so wireless.
Yeah.
In IPv6, it can be, or KNX IoT can be over Thread, can be over Wi-Fi, can be over Ethernet. So a broad choice. What is key here is KNX IoT is always secure by default. It cannot run unsecure. It's not permitted, and all of it is automatically integrated into ETS6.
Yeah.
So with ETS 6.4, you can commission Twisted Pair, combine them with IoT devices, and you have them tightly linked. And the beautiful thing of KNX IoT is that we make a full stack available to our manufacturers, to our members. So we can see the first IoT, or the first IoT devices are already there, but we expect this number to grow in the next few months.
So I think it's a really important point that KNX has always led the way in technology and feature sets, and not just been catching up. So it's been actively trying to make sure that it's in the right position and positioning itself constantly to take new, because you have to be on the forefront of everything, because you have to develop the technology for the manufacturers to make the products. So you're never backwards in coming forwards when it comes to adopting latest technologies for safety and feature set.
It definitely is a big effort, and I'm glad that we can rely on our manufacturers also to support us here. This is not a single task of us. No, our
Okay.
manufacturers drive this mainly. We are member driven, and together with them, we write specifications, and those specifications then eventually end up being devices supported
Yep.
by ETS. So
Yep.
it's a long journey, but yes,
Yep.
always on the forefront.
And it's collaborative. You know, it's very interactive between the end user, the integrator, you know, manufacturer, and so forth. So, yeah. Okay, and then finally, I think this is the slide where we're talking about the broader routers.
How IoT works.
Yeah.
Now this explains how
sorry.
IoT works. If you go one more, so this is, let's say you extend an existing KNX TP installation, you extend it with a thread border router and KNX IoT router. So on the left-hand side, you have an IP router, you have a power supply, you have 2 line couplers, 2 power supplies, 2 devices, so very small installation. And now you extend it with an IoT router, KNX IoT router. And this IoT router includes a TBR, which stands for Thread Border Router. Maybe you've heard that before. And now these devices on the right-hand side, they are thread devices, KNX IoT over thread. And so that's how you can integrate KNX IoT into KNX TP.
Excellent. All right, moving on to some exciting stuff, some actual changes in ETS 6.4.
Oh, yes.
This is really great because this is at the heart of where our membership is with the integrators and the people doing the jobs. So I think this is a little video here. If I press play.
Yes, indeed.
Do you want me to do that, Michael?
Yeah, go ahead, do that. This shows multi-linking. And what you see here is I have selected 4 channels of the device, and then I can now drag and drop, as I'm used to, the single group addresses. But you see I have 20 objects to do that. So I can also select them all. And I can select my group addresses in the sidebar, also select them all. When I drag them over and I press the Alt key, you will see that in a second. Now, ETS, when I press the Alt key, it will know, I want to link to everything. So the difference is just that I need to select my objects, I need to select my group addresses, and it's the order in which I do that. So the order defines how the linking is being done. And if I press the Alt key, I tell ETS I want to do multi-linking.
Well, that's really quick. And the other thing I think we must stress about that, Michael, this is just built into ETS 6.4. It's not some app you have to buy or do anything.
Correct. Yes, it's a native feature, indeed. It's built in. We made it built in because we identified that you still have to know the ins and outs. You still need to figure out, okay, the selection order plays a big role. This is not automatic, but it's actually a feature because maybe your objects are sorted in a different way than your group addresses. So you can, with the control key, you can make your own selection order, and then you can apply multi-linking.
I think that's a great
point. Really,
sorry, keep going.
No, it's really something you have to try out, I believe. We can talk about it for hours and hours, but really try it out and figure out how it works.
I think that's a good point you brought up there. And today I was teaching a basic course, and you know, I always enthuse people that you must know what you're doing. You know, there's many ways and there's many options and stuff like that. But for all that feature and richness you get is a responsibility, and the responsibility is that for every advantage you have by having flexibility, you must know what you're doing. You know, but we can still make things quicker and easier for everyone.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Another really great thing, and I use this all the time, and most people these days are running 64-bit computers. So
I hope so.
Yeah, and I think the big point here is that ETS 6 was supporting 64-bit, but as soon as you had to change it to compatibility mode, then it wouldn't change back. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, and it was the same in ETS5. You may have wanted to be in 64-bit, But the moment you wanted to work with a plugin inside a project, you had to switch to 32-bit. And indeed, as you said, ETS would then stay indefinitely in that 32-bit mode, which you might not have even noticed. Otherwise, I mean, apart from maybe a performance impact. And this is new with ETS 6.4. There's a new setting, a new way of setting this.
It sounds so simple, but it's one of my favorite features because my computer ETS runs so quick now. It really has made a massive difference to my performance and my working.
What's funny, actually, we see in the statistics of ETS that actually half of those users that were in 32-bit mode, they are no longer. So that leads us to expect that half of them, they didn't know that they were in 32-bit and they didn't actually want to be. So at least those half of those, let's say, they now gain the performance back. Really makes us happy.
Another feature that I know you've been working on for a long time, and it's just getting easier and easier, and it's being more supported, and that's downloading via serial numbers.
Yeah. This has been introduced a couple of versions back, the download via serial number, and it became possible because mostly driven by KNX Secure, we now know that devices have unique serial numbers. And by those numbers being unique, we can then also identify these devices on the bus. And so a couple of versions back, we introduced the download via serial number, and we know that this has been adopted by the majority of the users. And so now it's a setting. You don't, if you want and you activate this, you don't get offered it anymore. It just does it. So ETS just does the download via serial number for you.
So I think also there's a number of ways we can attribute a serial number to a device before you actually download to it. Am I right, Michael? So if you put a secure device in, ETS camera will come up, use your web camera, and you can use that to scan the QR code to insert your device, which also adds the security factory key, device secure key, and it also adds a serial number to your project.
Correct. Yeah, adding the device is one way. So when adding the secure device, it asks for the QR code, which includes the serial number. You can also add the FDSK and the serial number in the sidebar of the device. You can also add the FDSK in the project settings, but then it's not directly linked to the device. And last of all, when you download the device and you have not yet scanned the serial number or the FDSK, ETS then prompts you again.
Okay.
So
I actually, for all those people out there, I actually set up a QR scanner on my phone that was linked to my computer. And when I clicked on the serial number, all I had to do was look at it on my phone and take a picture of it or point my camera at the QR code, and I got the serial number automatically across.
Yeah.
Okay. The next part is collaboration mode. So collaboration mode, we've had this for a little bit. It's been absolutely groundbreaking, and I think it's essential. I always tell my students in the class that even if you're not working with other people, collaboration mode is essential because it's a great way to back up your projects. Tell me what's new about this.
Yeah, the collaboration mode indeed it has been there for a long while. It's been coming with ETS6, and what's new now is that, as you said, right, you rightly said it. The collaboration mode was introduced, but it's not even only for multi-user workflows. Even if you're just working by yourself, the collaboration mode gives you clarity of the backup status of your projects. And now with ETS 6.4, there's the option to do automatically a backup into the archive every time you close the project. And that's crucial because with KNX Secure, having the latest version and especially having the project is fundamental. You need to have the project, and having this enabled just makes sure you never lose your project.
Michael, can I just interject here for 1 second? Everything we're talking about in these new feature sets and stuff like that, if you're not sure, everyone that's listening, KNX Association have been working terribly hard to build a really good knowledge database And if you go up to the right-hand top corner of your ETS and you press on the help file, you can search any of this information, and this comes up with videos and how-tos and all information on it. It's a real powerful repository of data and knowledge.
That's a good point. Yes, thank you, Simon. That's a really good point. And pointing to the help file. Actually, you see it there in the back of your screen, the help button. It's right there, indeed. So just click that. It takes you to the help center.
Yep, and you can learn all about this and step-by-step instructions and everything we need. It's a real been a really good thing. Okay, so something that's always been a strange thing to deal with, or people had ways around it, and I'm not saying that ETS couldn't deal with it before, but the way it deals with it now is much more elegant. If you had a block of apartments, or even you can extend this to commercial buildings with tenancies in the buildings, you can now support multi-dwelling units, Michael.
Exactly. Yeah, and you were right. ETS couldn't do it until now. You always had to find a workaround, and you had maybe different building parts. But now you can actually build multi-dwelling units the way they are in the real world, right? So you can have different tenants, different units inside a floor, inside a building. And I think that's it's a small change, but really it makes such a difference because it shows the buildings the right way.
Yeah. Oops. What's the next thing we're looking at here? A firmware update. So that's a really another a great thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Firmware update is one of these things. Let's say they are a necessity, right? A strict necessity, and we see that a lot of our manufacturers are now updating their product portfolio because of something called the Cyber Resilience Act. I don't know if you are aware of that, but it's a European. For now, it's a European law that is becoming active very soon. And so manufacturers are making their product portfolios ready for KNX Secure, because KNX Secure will then fulfill the Cyber Resilience Act. And one of these aspects, one of these parts of that move is that devices need to support a firmware update. Many manufacturers already have an app for that, and now we have a standardized method of doing it. But one disclaimer, this is native now in ETS, but it's a minimal implementation. It's just laying the groundwork for having a firmware update capability. The better, let's say, the workflows that you are used to in these dedicated apps, in these firmware update apps, that will be mirrored into an ETS at a later time when we are clear about the Cyber Resilience Act.
So, Michael, just for everyone who's unaware, the cyber resilience, and correct me where I'm wrong here, is a really good act for the end consumer. And basically, it stops people putting out subpar hardware that can't be updated and can't be. And so it's classical, stop you buying a same phone every year after year because you can't have any path to upgrade it or do anything to it.
And it puts the thumb screws on everybody in the workflow chain to pick the highest security pick the right version with regards to security.
Okay.
Enable secure, go secure. Yeah, and update. Yeah, when any loopholes are found, do the update.
Just moving on here, a really nice touching little feature, and I always found it frustrating. You can search now by different ways through your projects.
Yeah, this is again one of these small things, but they make everybody's life easier. You can now sort by modified date. Before you could only sort by name, and now, as easy as it sounds, you can now sort by modified date. So even in the drill down here, you can see the projects last.
Just going a little bit further, we can now include for our functional parts and our building parts. So I think this is really important, Michael, where people are unsure how to structure their projects. I think this goes a long way to helping people identify and structure their projects. Am I right?
Yes, and maybe that's clear. I have a long time been a big fan of building functions. So functions in the building structure, like a switched light and a dimmed light. But in the group context, in the group view, you were lacking all that context.
Yeah.
And so with ETS 6.4, if you do make use of building functions, you actually see that context now in the group address view. And I think that can be really strong if you use it in the right way. So enabling these columns and making use of building functions, I can only recommend.
Great. Okay, so this is another really tricky one that gets a lot of people, including experienced campaigners, and it's the indicating badly configured or badly used couplers as repeaters.
Yes, indeed. Repeaters, they have their place in the world. They have their use cases. I'm not disputing that, but we have better alternatives today. We have segment couplers. We have TP line couplers. So, and what we've seen in support cases mainly is that these TP couplers, they can be configured badly, and probably unintentionally. And with these wrong configurations, all of a sudden you deactivate the filter tables of these couplers. And then your very powerful line coupler device is just another repeater. And so with ETS 6.4, we are now able to show this as a hint, because it might be intentional, but might also not be.
So just as a tech support, Michael, and as an ambassador for it, I see a lot of problems with line couplers and repeaters being confused. And we can have some unsettling and unwarranted things happening if you have things in the wrong place. I've seen some strange stuff happening. I think the most important thing here, Michael, is that people have to understand and realize that these new features are making it easier to do the right thing. No longer do people have to say, oh, I'm not sure, so I just opened everything up. They can actually let ETS do its job and filter it correctly, which is better for everyone, keeping the traffic down, especially on big jobs.
And the KNX devices that we see today, they are incredibly powerful. They have thousands of parameters. And like you said, it's easy to start switching everything around, changing all the parameters. Luckily, ETS has an option to show you the default settings and show you the settings that have been, the parameters that have been changed. But we are promoting with our manufacturers to set sensible defaults. Default parameters, and this is one of that moves, let's say.
Okay, what else?
Oh, there's a bunch more. You might have heard us talking about smart linking before. I mean, Simon, I know that you have. And smart linking is not yet there in ETS 6.4, but the first aspect, the first touch of it can now be seen, because there's some devices in the catalog that are now smart linking ready. And those devices, they get a green icon, a green device icon. And the way to see that is if you go to the online catalog and you have the latest version in ETS 6.4, you can use the search function and you search for SL:X. I show that there in the bottom right. And it filters down to those devices that are smart linking ready. And we keep a close eye on that list because we expect this list to grow, we expect this list to get longer. And perhaps in the next version, we can do something with that.
Can you give us a little hint on what we might be seeing with smart linking?
Yes. The idea of smart linking, in essence, is to be able to link device channels. So let's say a sensor channel to an actuator channel, without actually looking at group addresses, without looking at device objects. So smart linking will have the power, and that's why these devices are smart linking ready, that as a user, I can link a channel to a channel. I can physically drag a channel onto a channel, and ETS figures out which objects I need, which group addresses I need, and which belong together. That's what we call smart linking. It's not there yet, but you see that these devices, these smart linking ready products, they would support it. And we are watching how this number grows.
I'm really not sure of this new feature as well. What's an updated panel name?
this is again one of these minor things. We
right.
had a lot of confusion. You know that this panel was called diagnostics.
Yeah,
But
right.
we had another menu. We actually have another menu called diagnostics. There, it's
Yes.
also there in the screenshot. And so, by popular decision, by popular vote, we switched the diagnostics to monitors because
Yeah.
that's what you are looking for when you go there.
Yeah. Okay. And just finally, you've got some performance with some memory handling is always a nice thing.
Yes, yes, and you mentioned that already. And this is a lot of, let's say, under the hood work that my colleagues have been taking in the last few months, and again, it improves the performance.
Okay, moving on to one of your favorite subjects and mine is exposing some of the ports. So I think what we have here, if you want to tell people, you can do a security check on your own network, right?
Yes, indeed, and I'm surprised to say this. I'm surprised that I have to say this, but there was nothing wrong, let's say, with opening port 3671 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But the nature of KNX installations is that they last so damn long, right? They are so powerful, so high quality,
Robust. Yeah.
and robust, thank you, and resilient that our customers can rely and relax and let their installations run. The problem is that 10, 15 years ago, the ideas of having remote access to your installation, to be able to control your installation from somewhere else, really started to get traction. And back then, the go-to solution was to open port 3671 and make a port forwarding to your let's say, KNX interface, IP interface. Now, let's say 2020, 2026, we are smarter, right? We know that we had to react to bad intentions on the internet, because if you have port 3671 open, anybody in the world can find that.
Yeah.
It's not a secret. You can do a port scan, and people do that. It's not strictly legal, but people do that, and they can find your open port. And it's like leaving your door open, and you do that. You don't do that. Maybe in Auckland you do, but definitely New Zealand is safe, I know, but not in the rest of the world. You shouldn't. And that's why we introduced this online tool. Because with that, if you are in your local IP address, if you have a local IP address in your own network, you can then check this tool. It takes you, or you can scan this QR code. It takes you to the tool, and you can check your own IP address, whether or not you have that port open, because you might not be aware. The tool does a ping, does a check, and if your port is indeed open, it tells you, and you get some recommendations.
And I mean, look, you know, I don't think there's any excuses today. There's so many elegant solutions that we've got available within KNX products that, you know, third-party access, VPNs, you know, you name it, remote secure servers and stuff like that. I don't think there's any excuses to be opening port 3671. And to be honest, I don't think many people do. But obviously, you know, it's an existing legacy that we need to make sure that we tidy up.
It's a legacy issue indeed, because as you said, KNX has always been on the forefront, and so at some point we needed a remote access solution. We got one, but now we need to turn back.
Okay, so let's just recap those great features and takeaways. The latest version, and I encourage everyone to be on the latest version of ETS6. It's been well tested. It's been well beated for a long time, so there's nothing unknown with it. And Michael, to be honest, everyone knows that software has occasional problems and when it gets to the real world, but I have to commend ETS Association is always quick to fix it. And to be honest, there's so many people these days that are using ETS6 and the latest version. The problems are not really long in the real world for too long, really, are they?
No, and I'm really thankful to our community here, because we can test as much as we want. By the time we ship a software version, an ETS version, and it gets to 50,000 users on their computers, we will undoubtedly find more bugs. It's always the case, which is why we had to release an ETS 6.4.1. But I'm not sad about that. It's the nature of the business. And it's actually one of our strengths that we have this community.
Yep.
Everybody is intense power user. We don't
Yep.
have beta testers. We have only intense power users. It's the
Yeah.
dream. And everybody is critical but gives us good feedback, and we can act upon it. And so any new version fixes pre-existing other bugs. Yeah.
So, Michael, we don't want to keep people too late, but you know what? I left the best part for last, and the ETS apps is really something cool. They're apps that are personable, so they directly deal with any of your issues. A lot of them, we can all use them, but you know, some in particular you can use, and they're available online. Some cost some money, some are for free. And I think they're worth having a look at some of the new apps and exploring them. So the first one, which I've been playing with, Michael, and I think it's just fantastic. Half of my angst or my anxiousness when I was dealing with secure projects and stuff like that was having a password and forgetting the password and having a problem with what happens with the password. So we've got the ETS project assistant, access assistant. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is a feature that was released, or an app that was released with ETS 6.3, and specifically for that reason that you gave, the anxiousness of handling project passwords, the added, or let's say the added strain of having to re-enter these project passwords. All of that led to the need for this, let's say, feature. And so with the with the project access assistant, there's no need to re-enter passwords all the time again. It's saving you time, and it's storing that passwords securely on your computer, which is also why to have the project access assistant feature, you need to have internet, you need to have KNX, you need to have two-factor authentication enabled. So there's some requirements that we have because we want to make this secure.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to do with that, Michael, is you know, it becomes a normal thing. So we're still looking, observing all the security we've got. We've got two-factor authentication. We're protecting everything we need to protect. We're just not burdened with the factor or the liability of losing a password. So just quickly, everyone, passwords are saved on the KNX cloud, but they're hashed.
Nope.
So
exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
They're not. We don't have the passwords. What we get is a hashed version. And the actual passwords, they remain on your computer. We don't get them, which is still crucial, because if you ever forget your password, we still can't help you. So it's still crucial that you remember your passwords. You just don't have to remember. You don't have to re-enter them the whole time.
Enter them. Yeah. I thought we'd just run through a few question and answers. Can I change the project password? Yeah, of course you can. You can log into the my.knx, change the existing password through the app, even if it is forgotten. Is that right?
That's right, because you don't actually have to go to KNX. You just need to be logged into ETS in your KNX account. And that means that you do have access to your project without having to enter the password, and you can change the password. So then you just, if you forgot your password, you just open your project, change the password in ETS, and then the new password is remembered.
So we've already answered the second question. You know, can you see the password? No, they're not available. So for good security reasons, they cannot be viewed. Can you share the project with someone via the archive or the export import? Do I need to provide the password? Yes, you do. It's the same as before, really, isn't it? It's just the fact that
nothing changes.
You don't have to use it day to day and type with your fingers or do short paste or off your clipboards or anything like that.
And if at any time you forgot your password, go back to question 1, right? So you can help yourself. This is the main aspect here.
Okay, another real exciting app, Michael, and we haven't got time for it today, but I encourage everyone that's listening to go and have a look through the latest YouTube videos around ETS 6.4 and their apps. And I just Googled this before, bulk linker. Talk to me a little bit about bulk linker. This is really exciting.
Yes. Well, we talked about the multi-linking feature already. That is native in ETS 6.4. The bulk linker goes one step, or let's say 4 steps further, right? You have a little comparison table down there. The bulk linker is bringing efficiency to experts, and especially targeting large projects, because the app allows 3 different, let's say, workflows, 3 different functions. One of them is linking objects to groups that you already have, so to existing groups. Another one is linking objects to objects. In that case, it then creates group addresses. And another one is importing serial numbers. And you mentioned it earlier. You scan serial numbers with your phone, so you can then import them here. So there's a number of ways to increase your efficiency using this app. And yeah, I think just make.
I think going forward, Michael, if anyone doesn't know, I work for Ivory Egg as a distributor. We're really looking hard as a distributor, and I'm sure others are and manufacturers are, as how we can use serial numbers to track batches, how we can track asset management. And that way, when you buy products from us or from other people, they can give you the serial numbers as part of your order. It's not quite there yet, but this is where we're heading with it.
Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense, because then you can import that into your project using this app.
Okay. Now, I've had nothing to do with the ZVH Lean Connect importer. Tell me a little bit about this.
It's a mouthful for you, I guess. Yes. The ZVH is an association of let's say the German electrician. So it's an association of German electrical installers. Let's call it that. And they have a database, and maybe that's why it's, let's say, less relevant for you in Australia. They have a database of products, and they have, with that database, they made an online configurator. So you can have an online configurated project with your buildings and your devices. And now we have an ETS app to import that planning result into ETS.
Okay, that's
what this is about.
So this is kind of a pioneering move that's happening in Europe, I suppose. And then if it works well, we're rolling it out.
It's a digitalization effort, let's say, right? We want to digitalize our workflows, especially in the electrical industry, and this is one step towards that, right? Where maybe previously you would plan on a piece of paper your project together with your customer, make some requirements collection. You can now do that in the online configurator, and you get the result directly into ETS. But it's a pioneering, yes, indeed.
So the other one that's been a fairly really great breakthrough, and I think also part of it is for free, so they'll give you so much project tracing.
Yes, yes, indeed, project tracing. Yeah.
So project tracing, for you guys that are experienced campaigners that do this a lot, you always get that situation where you go back to the job and something wasn't right, and you know that you had done something and you can't remember because your day's busy, that you're not sure what you've done. Or alternatively, if you're working with collaboration mode and someone else has played with the file and you're not sure what they've done, you can actually go back all the way through step by step. It records exactly what happened, exactly what was changed, and also the username of the ETS installation that changed it. It's a really nice thing, Michael.
It keeps traces, and that's why it's called like that. It keeps traces of any change in your project, and if used right, and we've had customers complaining about that, but we need to be clear. If used right, this can only help, because the traces are kept automatically, everything, all the time. With the project tracing app, or let's say without the project tracing app, you have access only to the last 10 steps, last 10 changes, the last 10 traces. With the app, with the tracing app, you get everything, and you get the full access. You see the entire history, and you can even compare between different project versions. So you can see what has changed between yesterday and today, yesterday and last month. So it can be really powerful. Also, let's say in proving, making proof of work, right? Showing what you've done, or going back, finding out what went wrong. So it's quite powerful stuff, really.
So just having a look through that, but also it also works hand in hand with the project comparison tool, I'm sure, Michael, where if we have collaboration mode, we can see what's the most relevant project when we're looking to restore a project.
Correct. Yeah, the project compare is part of that, let's say, where you can then see all the traces. It makes use of that data.
Yeah, great. Oh, there we go. I apologize. The next one was the project compare integration. So when you guys are using collaboration mode, the next question you're going to be is, how do I know what's the most relevant project here? And this works essentially, it works because it not only tracks what the latest part of the project, but who did the latest part. So when you're going to use a project from your database that's shared across other people, or you can actually see what is the most current project, which one should I be using now, which is the latest one, instead of importing an old project and downloading to it and then having to go back and refix those parts of the project.
Correct. Yes, indeed. It shows you this in this nice, let's say, fashion, what has changed when. Yeah, very good.
All right. So just a few frequently asked questions. Can it be turned off? No. All projects currently have the functionality of this app, and it cannot be deactivated. And I can't understand any situations where you would want it to be deactivated, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
And can you report on that? Yep, of course you can. Great for documentation and, looking at it later. You can simply create a report. Can the automatic created entries be deleted? No, this is a true log, isn't it, Michael? It's not like
it is.
You can choose the good parts and the bad parts. This is for good reason. It creates and it tracks everything.
Yeah, and I think this is maybe a common misunderstanding. We know that some users are weary of showing the process to their customers, but really there is no bad parts. You are experts, and you become experts by figuring out which product parameters need to be set what way. So I think there's no bad parts. I think that's a misconception.
All right, so we've come to the end of our slides, and we're running a little bit short on time, Michael. There's just a few things that I would like to do. There's two important things. So everyone that's stuck around, thanks for your attendance. We hope you got something out of it. And just before I go, I'd like to share a special prize for everyone. Everyone's a winner here, Michael, aren't we? Yeah.
Indeed.
So
everybody can win.
I'll leave this on this page. So what we'll do is to give people the time. Just give me a sec. What we might do, Ed, is if you've been monitoring the chat, if we do have a chat, I'll put this up in the meantime. And what this does, if you scan this code with your QR or your device and you log into your my.knx account, make sure you claim those benefits. Okay, so we've heard that in previous webinars, people weren't claiming the benefits. There's up to 30% off discount on ETS6 licenses. That's really valuable. That is the coolest one I've seen here, Michael. Free app, the ETS bulk linker, the one that we're really excited about that you can win. You get for free. And
get for free.
More importantly, and I think this is a really good initiative from the KNX Association, starting to rank the partners. We've got so many partners. It's not fair that some people are higher rated because they put more effort in, and part of that effort is staying relevant, learning, and doing the extra yards, and that is attending this webinar. So for that, you'll get extra 5 partner ranking points, which puts you up higher in the list if you've got customers that are looking in the area. They can rank you and they can see how much effort you've put in, how many jobs you've done, what type of learning you've done, and webinars staying up with the latest and greatest.
Yes, yeah. And I think it says that there also the discount, or let's say this QR code is only valid for 7 days. So don't wait too long. Otherwise, the free app, the Bulk Linker app, is also not available anymore for you.
Well, Michael, just in our closing moments, I'm just quickly going to ask Ed, is there any outstanding questions that we can answer?
There's a couple in the Q&A from probably about 15 minutes ago. Tani asked, if a project has secure devices, is it worth checking if port 3671 is open?
Yes, definitely. Because just by having secure devices in your project, and they might not even be active secure, you could still have port 3671 open in your networking router. So doing port forwarding to your IP interface. That could still be the case. So definitely check.
Yeah, I mean, let's just make sure we understand that the IP router in the KNX and the internet router are two different parts, and that we're talking about ports open in your internet router. So if that port's open in your internet router, it might not even look at the KNX side of things. It might just the hacker or nefarious person might use that to open the door up further. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And we've seen, I mean, there's thousands of ports open in the world. Unfortunately, it's a matter of closing them one by one. And we have seen bad cases where installations get hacked. We've even seen webcams, networking cameras being hacked. And so really not a good situation. Let's close each port one by one.
Another question, Ed.
That was all. Everyone else is just thankful for the information and say we must do this more often. So there you go. There's the challenge.
Well, look, guys, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for all joining. We hope you got a bit out of it. There's some really great advantages in there for the KNX world. Michael, on behalf of the Australia and New Zealand conglomerate, we'd like to thank you for joining. We always appreciate your attention. We know we're a little bit further from everything, so it's a real special thing to have you coming along. So thank you for that.
It's been a blast. I haven't been in Australia for a long while, but I have been in New Zealand in winter. Your summer. So I missed it already. I should come again.
Well, mate, anytime you want to come down for a beer, we'd love to have you. So keep that in mind. To everyone that's joined us, thank you again. We hope you have a great night and keep on KNXing. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Simon.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.